Hello, everyone. We're really excited to have some new information regarding Jason's return and a new story involving the very changes in the calculations that are causing one of the explosive new adjustments to happen. Let me begin with something that touched me deeply in a recent episode. When Carly stood her ground during that heated exchange with Valentine, she spoke words that many of us older fans have been quietly hoping to hear for some time. She made it crystal clear that while she loves Jason with all her heart, she is not in love with him. After everything they have been through, the mob entanglements, the near-death experiences, and especially that complicated period when Sonny was presumed dead and living as Mike in Nixon Falls, I believe the writers made the right decision by keeping their bond firmly in the realm of deep, platonic friendship. I remember how anxious I felt back then, watching Jason and Carly cross that romantic line out of necessity and genuine affection. It seemed almost inevitable at the time, yet it never sat quite right with me. Their history is too precious, built on decades of unwavering trust and shared secrets, to risk being clouded by the kind of romantic complications that so often tear couples apart on this show. Seeing Carly affirm that boundary felt honest and mature, a refreshing choice in a genre that sometimes pushes every friendship toward passion. For those of us who have lived long enough to value lifelong companionship over fleeting romance, this development brings a quiet sense of relief. Jason and Carly belong together as the steadfast allies they have always been, not as another turbulent love story that could ultimately fracture what makes them special. But of course, General Hospital would not be the same without its signature twists. And the newest one involving Jason's return has me both excited and a little apprehensive. Steve Burton has shared in interviews that his character is coming back with some significant changes, and the details emerging point to a storyline that feels classic, yet freshly unpredictable. Jason, it seems, will return to Port Charles not alone, but accompanied by a mysterious woman who played a crucial role in helping him escape from that dangerous prison in Jakarta. This revelation has me leaning forward in my chair each afternoon because it introduces an entirely new layer to the man we thought we knew so well. Jason has always been the strong, silent protector, the enforcer who puts everyone else's safety before his own, but this new chapter suggests he is evolving into something more layered, perhaps even vulnerable in ways we haven't seen before. Bringing this woman into his life after she literally helped pull him from behind bars speaks volumes about gratitude turning into something deeper, and it sets the stage for the kind of explosive romantic entanglement that the show does so well. What fascinates me most is how this development is already rippling outward, creating fresh complications for two women who have long held important places in Jason's world, Britt and Carly. We all remember the brief but intense romance between Jason and Britt a while back. It was passionate, complicated by her health struggles and family secrets, and it ended far too soon for some fans who hoped it might give Jason the stability he deserved. Now, with this new woman from Jakarta entering the picture, those old feelings are bound to resurface in unexpected ways. I can already imagine the tension building, the quiet jealousy, the protective instincts, and the inevitable questions about where loyalties truly lie. And then there is Carly, who has just publicly clarified her own feelings. Even though she insists she is not romantically in love with Jason, watching him arrive with someone new is sure to stir up emotions she may not have anticipated. Their friendship is rock solid, yet human nature being what it is, a new romantic interest for Jason could test even the strongest platonic bond. Will Carly feel a pang of protectiveness? Will old memories resurface at exactly the wrong moment? These are the kinds of subtle emotional undercurrents that make General Hospital so addictive for those of us who have followed every chapter. Even more intriguing is the way the story seems to be positioning Jason as the central figure who will step in to help resolve the mounting troubles facing both Britt and Carly. The writers appear to be recalculating the entire dynamic, turning what could have been a simple homecoming into a high-stakes rescue mission filled with danger, secrets, and moral dilemmas. Jason, saving the very women who once occupied such different spaces in his heart, feels both poetic and dramatically charged. It forces him to confront his past while forging ahead with this new relationship, and it reminds me of similar turning points in the show's history. Think of the way Sunny's memory loss reshuffled alliances, or the way Anna's own complicated past keeps resurfacing. In my view, this is smart storytelling. It prevents Jason from becoming static after his long absence, and instead gives him a chance to grow into a slightly different version of himself. Still loyal to the core, yet now carrying the weight of new experiences from that Jakarta ordeal. I have to admit, part of me worries that the plot could veer into overly dramatic territory, the crazy adjustment some fans are already whispering about online, but having watched for decades, I trust that the writers know how to balance spectacle with genuine character development. After all, General Hospital has always thrived on these larger-than-life moments that ultimately reveal deeper truths about love, forgiveness, and redemption. One question I keep asking myself, and perhaps you have wondered the same, is whether this new romance will truly last, or if it is meant to serve as a catalyst for even bigger revelations down the road. Will the woman from Jakarta become a permanent fixture in Port Charles, or will her presence ignite conflicts that force Jason to choose between his old life and whatever future he is building? I lean toward optimism here. Steve Burton has always brought such quiet intensity to Jason that I believe he can make any new relationship feel authentic, even if it challenges everything we thought we knew about the character. At the same time, I hope the writers do not rush to dismantle the beautiful friendship between Jason and Carly. That bond has been one of the show's most enduring strengths, and preserving it while allowing Jason his own independent romantic path strikes me as the most satisfying route. As for Britt, her storyline has always carried such emotional weight, her bravery in the face of illness, her complicated family ties, and seeing her drawn back into Jason's orbit could provide some of the most heartfelt scenes we have seen in years. Looking back over the many seasons I have followed, I realize that General Hospital's greatest gift has always been its willingness to let characters evolve while honoring their history. We have watched Sunny transform from dangerous mobster to devoted family man, seen Carly grow from impulsive troublemaker into a strong, independent woman, and witnessed Jason move from enforcer to something far more nuanced. This latest chapter feels like another step in that long journey. It may feel shocking at first, Jason returning with a woman from a Jakarta prison, stepping into the role of rescuer for both Britt and Carly, creating a romantic storm that no one saw coming, but that is exactly why we keep coming back. The drama may sometimes feel larger than life, yet it mirrors the way real relationships shift and surprise us over the decades. For those of us in our 60s and beyond who have lived through our own share of unexpected turns, these stories resonate on a personal level. They remind us that love, friendship, and loyalty can take many forms, and that even the strongest bonds can adapt without breaking. The heart of the current storm is unmistakable. Carly and Britt have been thrust straight into fresh troubles that feel both shocking and deeply personal. What makes it even more compelling is how the story is forcing a series of new adjustments tied directly to the jolt of Jason's own transformation. He is no longer quite the same stoic enforcer we have known for so many years. Something fundamental has shifted in him since his time away, and that change is rippling outward like stones dropped into the lake at the park where so many of our favorite scenes have played out. The writers are recalibrating everything we thought we understood about his loyalties, his heart, and his role in the lives of the women who matter most to him. I have watched Jason evolve before through loss, through fatherhood, through the long shadow of the mob, but this latest version feels different, almost startling in its intensity. He returns carrying the weight of experiences we are only beginning to glimpse, and that weight is now pulling Carly and Britt into complications neither of them saw coming. Carly, who only recently drew such a clear, heartfelt line about her feelings for him, now finds herself facing a man who is quietly but unmistakably altered. The friendship they have guarded so carefully for decades is being tested in ways that feel raw and real. Britt, whose own history with Jason was passionate yet painfully brief, is suddenly drawn back into the orbit of a person who no longer fits neatly into the memories she holds. The troubles swirling around them are not simple misunderstandings or old grudges. They are the kind of layered, high-stakes entanglements that General Hospital does best: secrets from Jakarta, unexpected alliances, and the quiet fear that the man they both once relied upon may need saving himself this time. What I find most touching, and perhaps a bit bittersweet, is how these new adjustments are forcing all three of them to grow. Jason's transformation is not just about a new romance or a dramatic rescue. It is about becoming someone who must balance his old protective instincts with the changes life has carved into him. I confess I worry sometimes that the writers might push the drama too far, turning what could be a beautiful story of redemption into something overly chaotic, but I also trust them. After all, I have seen the show handle similar shocks before, from Sunny's memory loss to Anna's own tangled past, and each time the characters emerged richer for it. Carly's strength and Britt's quiet courage are being called upon in fresh ways, and I believe that is exactly what longtime fans like us crave: stories that honor the past while daring to move forward. Of course, as someone who has lived long enough to know that real life rarely ties things up neatly, I hope the writers let these troubles breathe. Will Carly's steadfast friendship be enough to anchor Jason through whatever storm is building? Can Britt find a new place in his heart without erasing the tender history they once shared? These questions keep me coming back, just as they have for 45 years. The shock of Jason's change is real, the troubles for Carly and Britt are mounting, and the adjustments the story is making feel both inevitable and full of promise. In the end, that is why General Hospital still feels like home. No matter how many surprises Port Charles throws at us, the heart of the show, the loyalty, the love, and the chance for healing remain steady. I cannot wait to see what happens next, and I suspect many of you feel exactly the same.